and welcome in to Norwalk, Iowa, where we have a matchup between the Norwalk Warriors and the Roosevelt Rough Riders of Des Moines in a contest between a 19-13 Roosevelt squad and a 12-16 Norwalk Warriors squad. I am Liam Weber here on Pardon My French Media, joined by Ian Nelson in what is going to be another double stream day for us. We have a doubleheader here at the baseball fields. Meanwhile, over at softball at 7:15 tonight, we will have a softball matchup between two ranked squads. Overall, it's going to be a very busy night. It's also a very hot night.
Yeah, it is. I mean, 93 degrees outside, heat index over the 100 triple-digit marks. It's going to be a hot one, especially for the baseball players just baking in the sunlight. It's going to be a test of will, I will say, especially once you get down into the later stretch of the game. How can you just stay uppy? How can you stay energized with the heat just bearing down on you?
Norwalk wearing their home white pinstripes, especially using that to combat the heat today. But for Roosevelt, it's going to be an unfortunate day in the navy blues for the jerseys. We'll take a break for the national anthem when that comes on, and then we'll get you starting lineups for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, and we'll get you the defense of the Norwalk Warriors. It's going to be a hot one today, folks. And it is going to be an excellent day of baseball and softball action on Pardon My French Media. As we return from the national anthem, it's Owen Siemens on the mound for the Norwalk Warriors. He's taken over the ace role for this Warrior staff. It's had some fluctuation on the mound. Early on in the season, it was Ashton Hans that was using that slider to take control of games, but now it's Owen Siemens with a fastball and his signature curve that will take on this Rough Riders offense led by Lucas Kelly and the leadoff spot, followed by Joey Aarons, Luther Cox as 2 and 3. Then it's going to be Karsten Clausen in the cleanup spot, followed by Ethan Hall, Troy Wynn, Gabe Bachowski, Miles Tubbs, and Maddox White to round out their order. A team so far this season that is hitting at a .313 batting average with a .433 on base, a .451 slug, and has been extremely effective at getting runs across the board. 156 RBIs so far on the season for them as we inch closer and closer towards playoffs.
Yeah, this is going to be a team that, especially for this Norwalk defense and pitching staff, going to have to watch out for. This is a team that likes to put bat on ball, 239 hits on the year, and then when you compare that to Norwalk, they only have 175, so almost 60 more than just this team. So it's going to be, you're really going to have to focus on here if you're Owen Siemens to get that fastball down and to really trust your defense.
as we'll give you the Norwalk defense as the first pitch will come in and not find the zone. It'll go outside. As from left to right in the outfield, it's Wadley, Bush, and Wilkening, the normal players out there. As this one runs high from the normal third baseman, Owen Siemens. Taking his spot today is going to be Jackson Howe at the hot corner. Then around the horn at shortstop, as always, Colton Moore. Ashton Hans at second, as this one's ripped out into center field, giving chase to it. Bush has an easy play on it, puts it away for out number 1. And at first base, having taken over for Kingston Lamb for most of this back half of the season, it is Keelan Selby. And then behind the plate, completing the battery with Owen Siemens, is Riley Schmidt. So hard contact from Kelly in at bat number 1. Trying to set the tone for the Rough Riders here as Siemens will find the zone there. A curveball that stays up top for ball 1. I think that's been a key factor of the Warriors' second half, has been control of the off speed and the breaking stuff.
That is one of the things that Siemens tries to do quite a bit, and we saw it just right there, trying to find the outside edges of the zone. Did a very nice job there, but then you mentioned that curveball, what he really likes to use quite a bit of his game. If he doesn't have it on lockdown, it seems that he struggles to get it back in the middle of the game.
Big cut and a miss. Strike 3, got him. And down goes Joey Aarons for out number 2. And Siemens quickly has 2 outs on the board as he will look to finish this inning off cleanly, as Luther Cox will step up to the plate. So far this season has a total of 38 hits on the year. Has been absolutely incredible. 22 RBIs to go alongside it. Just a junior, batting .404. As that one will bounce in. Ties the count up at 1. On a hot night like this, anything in the air has a chance to go. But with less wind, it's less likely. This one a shallow pop. Colton Moore calls for it, has it, and puts an end to things here in the top half of the first. When we come back, we'll go through the Norwalk lineup and the Roosevelt defense as Siemens takes care of the order in order. As we return, let's take you through the Norwalk order as they will step in to face off against Miles Lorenzen. As Colton Moore will be the first one to stand in, as always, the leadoff hitter for the Warriors so far this season. Has 27 hits and a .297 average. He's followed up by Ashton Hans and Riley Schmidt. In the cleanup spot, it's the opposing pitcher, Owen Siemens, followed by Brady Wilkening. The only change to the lineup this time around is Jackson Howe will hit instead of Kenyon Wright at the DH spot. And then we'll have Xavier Bush, Keelan Selby, and Cale Wadley to round out the order. It's a Norwalk order that the last time we saw them took a game off of the Dallas Center Grimes Mustangs in a very impressive showing as well.
Yeah, they run-ruled them in just 5 innings. It was a very just solid hitting in a game where you had to battle back after just getting shut down from the first game that got rained out, and then that one, just the momentum was all in DCG's favor. They came out the gate swinging and really trusted Owen Siemens, who's on the mound.
As if I'm not mistaken, Norwalk outscored the Mustangs in that pseudo doubleheader, a total of 16-4. And I mean, they outscored them 5-4 in game one. They outscored them 11-1 in game two. Is that one cut on and missed? Strike three, got him. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Colton Moore is down for out number 1. Up steps the lefty, Ashton Hans. Has had his struggles on the mound late in this season, but 2 triples on the season to go alongside a 284 average and a 459 on base, one of the highest on the teams, or on the team, excuse me. Also has 14 RBIs, ties him up at 3rd best. That one finds the zone, count is tied up at 1. And Hans has just been very slowly and quietly consistent getting on the base paths. Has not had anything super flashy by managing to draw his walks or get those soft singles. Has really been how he's done his damage. And for a Warrior team batting .246 on the season, they'll take all of those little fluke hits or those soft dribblers that result in infield hits. As Lorenzen gets Hans to pop this up sky high towards the hot corner. Putting a snag on it is the 3rd baseman, Joey Aarons. And with that, let's take you through the Roosevelt defense. In left, it is number 21, Miles Tubbs. In center field, it is Maddox White. In right, it is Lucas Kelly, the leadoff man. Then around the horn on the infield, as we just mentioned, Aarons at 3rd. Up the middle, it's Hall and Cox. Then at first, it is Wynn. Behind the plate, completing the battery with Lorenzen, is Karsten Clausen, who will lead things off in the top half of the second as it's a 1-0 count here. To the catcher, Riley Schmidt. And Schmidt really has been one of, if not the best hitter for the Norwalk Warriors, a .346 average, 6 doubles on the year, has 7 total extra base hits, including a home run, the only home run that these Warriors have hit. Very aggressive bat at the plate. Finds a strike there on the 3-0 count.
That's a really nice pitch from Lorenzen right there. Was going on the outside for the first 3 pitches, then just fires it into the middle. You got to give a strike, but a nice one there.
That one ripped back through. It's going to stay up for the right fielder. And putting a squeeze on it is Lucas Kelly. So both sides go down in order in the first inning. We'll head to the top of the second where it's 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. As we come back, it is Karsten Clausen to stand in for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, the catcher. So far this season has 20 hits and 75 ABs, good for a 267 average. As a Norwalk team that, or excuse me, as a Roosevelt team again, a 313 batting average as a squad. Norwalk, a pitching staff with a 217 batting average against. Been very good at not allowing hits. It's been the walks that have been dangerous for this staff. As Norwalk doesn't really hit anybody comparative to most of the other teams in high school baseball. Just 32 hit batsmen on the season, but 145 walks to 157 strikeouts, almost a 1-to-1 in that department. As this one's fouled off. Riley Schmidt kind of just has to flex the hand a little bit. Try and find a little feeling back into the hand.
Yeah, when you're trying to catch for a guy like Owen Siemens, who is one of the hardest throwing pitchers on this team, if not the hardest throwing pitcher, it's always more of a shock when he just fires in that fastball.
That one, another one fouled off at the plate. And so we'll see the 1-2 again. Clausen just trying to battle at this point.
And it's going to be these type of at-bats that really test the stretch of how this game is going to go, because when you start really expanding at-bats in this type of heat, that's where you may see either a batter just try to get out of it with a loosey-goosey hit, or the pitcher just, it really will tear down that arm in this kind of heat. So we'll see how long these pitchers throughout both of these games are going to last, if they consistently will stretch out at-bats. But on the side, when Norwalk gets up to bat, they really do like to stretch out their at-bats when they are batting. We saw that against DCG in our last time calling, and that's what really gave them the edge in that game too. They stretched out those at-bats. So that's going to be something to look out for in this one.
As a full count, here's the payoff pitch. That'll run high, and Siemens loses. Karsten Clausen, and he is now the first base runner of the day for either team. As on comes the courtesy runner, number 9. That is Miles Fulton, the junior. Clausen giving a little bit of info to Ethan Hall on his way back. And even the cleanup, or even the hitter behind him on deck in Troy Wynn.
By the look of the arm from Clausen, looks like he was really trying to teach about that curveball.
As the fastball pumped in there for a strike. That one grounded back up the middle. 6-4-3 double play. Taylor made for Colton Moore. He flips it on to Hans, then guns it over to Selby at first, and that base runner is eliminated. So just as quickly as the leadoff batter reaches, he returns, or his courtesy runner rather, returns to the dugout. Now it's Troy Wynn to stand in. As Wynn will take a ball upstairs, the first baseman. That one ripped out into right field. Wilkening goes back on it, back some more, lifts the glove up, puts the snag on it for out number 3. Another quick inning of work for Owen Siemens. 11 pitches in back-to-back innings. We'll head to the bottom half where Norwalk will look to get their first base runner and the first run of today's contest. As we return, the pitcher will stand up to face off against the pitcher. It's Lorenzen versus Siemens. Siemens tied for the RBI lead yet again with Riley Schmidt, both at 19. As he will look to reach base for the first time in today's contest and the first time for the Warriors. Big part of Siemens' game is his walk ability to draw a walk. And instead, he'll get plunked. So Siemens will take his bag the painful way. Earns that first base, and we'll have Kenyon Wright come in as a courtesy runner today. He got a break from swinging the bat. He will not get a break from running the base paths, especially not if he's running for Owen Siemens today. As it'll bring up Brady Wilkening. Jackson Howe waits on deck, followed by Xavier Bush. Wilkening gets the bunt down. It's perfectly executed. And a tag attempt. They will say he got him on the tag. The bunt works perfectly and moves that runner over to second. Playing a little bit of ethical baseball here are the Warriors.
Jackson Howe.
Brings up Jackson Howe. Howe has just 2 ABs on the season, but both of them have resulted in RBIs, 3 walks. Go alongside a hit by pitch, a strikeout. As that one finds the zone.
It's always nice to play some ethical baseballs every once in a while, get the runners around.
Jackson Howe swings a bit of a shorter bat. Shorter bat means maybe a bit less power, but quicker bat speed. Allows you to get that barrel to the ball and drive it on a line rather than lift it up. As this one will run inside, and they'll say foul ball. Half-hearted swing attempt, but did hit off the bat. So now Howe has a 1-2 count against him. Runner in scoring position for the sophomore. Lorenzen staring down that runner at second and delivers. Curveball finds the zone. Strike 3. Got him looking. A backwards K for Jackson Howe. And now it is Xavier Bush with a runner in scoring position.
It's a really nice pitch out of Lorenzen. Finding that inside of the zone with a nasty curveball. Haven't seen it too much yet today, but something to look out for now as he's establishing it early against this back half of the lineup.
That one will run inside. Bush kind of just ducks out of the way a little bit. As Xavier Bush will try everything he can to get this ball out of the infield. This one's skied high, foul territory, chasing it, chasing it. No one's going to have a play. So Kenyon Wright will jog his way back to second, and Xavier Bush will find his way back to the plate to see a 1-1 count. Selby waits on deck, followed by Cale Wadley. Kicks and fires from Lorenzen. This one ripped through the left side. Kenyon Wright will be shown the stop sign. So it's runners on the corners off of a very well hit ball by Xavier Bush. Did exactly what someone would do with a shortened bat. But instead, he just manages to rip it through the left side. Nobody was home. So now that'll bring up Keelan Selby as just a junior this year. 152 average, a 300 on base, though. 4 walks to 10 strikeouts. As this one, another one that's popped high and out of play. Runners will return.
For Selby here, you really want to just kind of take what Bush did and repeat that, especially in this situation. You want to try to get up on top of the Rough Riders as quickly as you can, and this is a great position. Hasn't batted the best in this situation, only 2 RBIs on the year, so maybe looking to get that third.
That ball get away from the catcher, and coming in to score is Kenyon Wright. And he'll slide under the tag. So Norwalk does have the first run on the board here, as it is a 1-1 count. And a run scores on the wild pitch. As looking back, the runner will also advance from that wild pitch. But last time we saw Keelan Selby in that second game of our doubleheader against DCG, he actually in a very similar spot had a 2-run double. And he managed to drive in with 2 outs on the board. Those were his first 2 RBIs on the season. So he's very quickly proving to himself and to head coach Weedman that he is willing and able to shine in those moments. A throw down to first. Gets away from the first baseman. That'll bring another run in. As the shortstop, that's number 24, Ethan Hall, hurried the throw just a little bit with the speed of Selby. Throws it away, and a run will score on the E6. So it's a 2-0 advantage now with Cale Wadley at the plate. Top of the order. Looming large for the Warriors. Lorenzen. That one will hit the turf.
Really good job out of Selby just to keep kicking throughout that entire thing. And just, that's something that you sometimes will see even in the majors now. Players will just start slowing down as they reach first, thinking they're automatically going to be out. And Selby kicked all the way through the bag and beat it after the rush throw, as you mentioned.
1-1 here to the left fielder wearing number 7. As this one's going to be popped high. Also hooking towards that right side. Less of a chase given. So that'll make its way out of play easily. Troy Wynn would have been on the case had it stayed in play.
Wynn's had to work hard quite a bit these last couple of batters, having to run to chase all these potential foul balls. That's the third one already. And
might say he's a little winded. As that curveball will drop in just above the top part of the zone. 2 and 2 now. 2-2 count, 2 outs, 2 runs on the board. Perfectly legal full house as this one. A strike 3 called, so another backwards K here for Miles Lorenzen as that puts an end to the inning. 2 runs come across the score for the Norwalk Warriors. When we come back, 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Roosevelt Rough Riders as they'll look to take on Owen Siemens yet again. As we return, it's going to be Gabe Bukowski to stand in, the designated hitter. As it is a quick 1-1 count here to the designated hitter hitting for the pitcher. As that one, another swing and a miss from Bukowski.
Bukowski comes into this one, 16 hits, all singles, 6 RBIs. But in the lead opposition right now, you're just going to worry about getting on base.
As 15 strikeouts to 11 walks. Has been hit by a pitch 5 times so far this season. He's reached on an error once. And so watch that one skipping the turf for a full count. As Siemens on the payoff pitch. This one grounded back on the middle. Siemens will snag it. Nice little soft underhanded toss over to Selby for out number 1. As Siemens makes it look routine out there on the mound, and now it'll be Miles Tubbs to stand in. Tubbs, a senior, participating in his last season of high school baseball. Batting .220. So he'll take a ball. That'll run high for ball 2. Siemens needs to find the zone here and find it quickly. That one ripped high and somewhat deep. Manageable for Wadley, though, and he will put away his counterpart for out number 2.
Or just throw it in the zone and let your defense cover you.
Which is what Siemens has been kind of the best at so far this season. Just 17 strikeouts on the season through 26 2/3 innings pitched and 494 pitches. 138 opponent at-bats. Again, only 17 of them have ended in a strikeout. As this one will fly its way out of here. Back behind home plate for strike 1. As that one finds the zone, and it is quickly 0-2.
And you mentioned the strikeouts. Only one already through 2 2/3 innings. Could be looking for the second one of the night, but yeah, when you have such a great defense, especially on the infield, but even the outfield, you really can rely on just throwing it in the zone, and that's something that some of the other pitchers on this Norwalk squad just haven't really got through their heads, is to trust your defense, and that's what Siemens has done very well throughout the season.
As it is 3 straight balls to move this to a full count, and we'll see the payoff pitch from Siemens here. Already his 3rd full count of the day. He's managed to get out of the other 2, and this one finds the zone. Strike 3, got him looking. And he'll put an end to things here in the top half of the 3rd. We'll head to the bottom half where it's 1, 2, and 3. Top of the order, 2 up. But before we do, let's take a moment to thank our sponsor. Blink and you'll miss it. Don't let your best moments disappear. Savvy's Perspective Photography captures the moments you'll want to hold on to forever. Find them on Facebook at Savvy's Perspective Photography or on Instagram at savvys.perspective.photography. Based in Ankeny and serving the surrounding areas, new clients use code SAVVY30 for 30% off your first session. That's SAVVY30. Savvy's Perspective Photography, sports, portraits, and beyond. As we return, Colton Moore will stand in to lead things off. He led off the game with a 3-pitch strikeout. He'll look for some better fortunes here in the second at bat. As 2 runs on the board for his Warrior squad, is that one a big cut and a foul straight back. Both pitchers have been working with good effectiveness. Not letting the pitch count get too high early. As that one finds the zone, a beautiful breaking pitch that Moore kind of just froze on. Colton Moore had a lightning hot start to the year. It's kind of been the story for some of these Warrior players, the ones that started off hot and quick, have cooled down. Meanwhile, the ones that started off a bit cold have heated up spectacularly at just the right time. As this one's ripped and down into left field, and immediately you know Moore's thinking too, but he'll put the brakes on and scamper on back to first. And it's a leadoff hit for the Norwalk Warriors.
Just a great piece of hitting there for Colton Moore. Got low with the pitch, but knew that it was a pitch that he wanted to take far, and got under it, drove it through and over the head of the third baseman and found the hole in between third and left field.
Yeah, just a great line drive on a golf-esque swing as here goes Moore. Throw down to second. Tag is not in time. Moore manages to get the hand in under it, and the shortstop does not agree as that is Ethan Hall. Already said his name a couple times here today, but a beautiful jump from Colton Moore results in a stolen base on a pitch. That is a called ball to Ashton Hans. Now a runner in scoring position. Hans now can swing away. Unless he bunts that runner over, but he'll pull back again on a pitch out. As that was Clausen ready to just pop and fire over to third in case Moore was going to go, or pop it back over to second in case Moore was a bit overambitious. Moore will go now, but it's fouled off. They'll say it just nicked the bat of Ashton Hans. As now kicks and fires. That'll run outside. Hans stands in. There's a delivery. That'll run outside. Count is full. So one of those pitches earlier was indeed a strike, and we miscounted up here. Now on a 3-ball count, Hans has plenty of patience. Moore dancing, just trying to get a distraction in. And that one grounded over to first on. Moore will advance, but Hans is out on the 3 unassisted. Great job on the snag by Troy Wynn. Managed to just make the body as large as possible so it can't kick up and away from him. Very similar to a soccer goalie in that positioning.
Good job out of Hans there. Just put bat on ball and put it away from the third base line so as you don't put Moore in dangerous position to get out. And keep the runner in score position, and now even closer to the home plate.
Schmidt stares at a fastball that stays up, and away. Wind beginning to blow just a little bit more. Don't have the window open, so I don't know if it's a hot wind or not, but given the temperature today, I would assume it is. As it's a 2-0 count here to the catcher, Riley Schmidt. Lorenzen. That one will find the zone on the inside half. Schmidt might not have liked the call initially, but gets the sign from Coach Weedman down at third. Moore ready to go. Big cut and a miss there from Riley Schmidt. And it's a 2-2 count now.
A little surprised in this scenario with the speed of Moore that they didn't look at bunting, especially with a righty hitter. You can bunt it right down the first base line and put your third base runner in a good position to score, but just letting Schmidt swing. So we'll see if that comes back to bite them, especially if Schmidt goes down swinging or looking in a scenario that doesn't put the ball in play. Then you put 2 outs and a chance to strand the runner.
And that one runs inside and low. The count is full. That one fouled back to the screen. And we'll see a 7th pitch of the AB.
Good job there by Schmidt. Just stay alive in the count. Not a tricky position. Want to be looking for a potential ball four, but also want to try to drive that ball as best as you can.
Big swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him. Schmidt goes down to the strikeout. And immediately goes and talks to Owen Siemens. As now with 2 outs, Norwalk desperate to try and get that extra run across the board. And Siemens right now wants as much run support as possible. Big swing and a miss there. Again, this is a Roosevelt team that can explode for runs at any point in time. So getting ahead early and as often as possible will be huge for the Warriors. That one's ripped back into center field, giving chase, settling under it, and making the catch is Maddox White. So Colton Moore gets a single to lead things off, but it's Lorenzen that shuts it down after that. We'll head to the top half of the 4th inning. It'll be 1, 2, and 3 due up for the Rough Riders. As we come back, Lucas Kelly will stand in. His first time up, flew out to center field on a very well-hit ball. As Siemens will start him off with a ball in this second matchup. This one grounded foul down the first baseline, a very weak dribbler. And it's a 1-1 count now. I think nobody was really wanting to go sprinting after that in this heat. Perfectly willing to let that just run foul. 2-1 count on a pitch high. As Siemens has been consistently staying up high in this AB. From the windup, and he'll lose him. So it is a 5-pitch walk issued to Lucas Kelly. His leadoff man is aboard for the Rough Riders, and that'll bring up Joey Aarons.
Last time Siemens walked a player resulted in a double play, 6-4-3 in that matter. So
this one a bunt laid down perfectly, but it'll roll foul. Good communication by Schmidt to tell how to let it run off into foul territory. For strike one. Throw down a back pick attempt. Not going to be in time. Schmidt's been trying that all season. He wanted another one.
it looked like it may have had the time. It just went down with the pick and then went back up to lay the tag. Just didn't get the tag on as smoothly.
Bunt is laid down. Siemens looks at second, decides just to take the easy play at first. So Aarons gets the sack bunt down to move that runner over. I'll bring up Luther Cox. Popped out his first time up. And he will have a runner in scoring position. Siemens from the stretch. This one lifted high and somewhat shallow out to right field. Wilkening has an arm. He'll throw in. Runner does not go anywhere, as Colton Moore had also been the one to cut it off. So a harmless fly out to right field.
Those are the two you do not want to test when it comes to arm strength. One of the hardest throwing outfielders that this team has is Brady Wilkening in right field, and then Colton Moore to back it up, the shortstop. We've seen him fire all the way from the outfield behind third base almost to first base and get it just fine. So
as this one lifted, but foul out of play by Karsten Clausen. He walked his first time up and resulted into that which resulted in that aforementioned double play ball. Delivery from Siemens. Cut and a miss. Quickly 0-2 now to the catcher.
If you're Siemens here, you don't want to do what you've done in the past in this game and then go down now 3-2, make it a full count and have to work, really try to get this batter, put it into the zone now. You know, he likes to try to flirt with him, making him swing for, but in this situation,
I'll run inside.
Try to put it into the zone. So he tried to find the inside edge right there with that pitch. Didn't get the ball to curve in how he wanted it to.
Siemens toes the rubber, lifts the leg, and fires. That one will go outside with. Siemens fires. That one lifted high, shallow. Bush running after it. Goes a bit deeper due to the heat and the wind. And it'll be snagged in center field by Xavier Bush. So we will head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. It's going to be 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Warriors to take on Lorenzen. As we return, Brady Wilkening will stand in. Wilkening, a sacrifice bunt his first time up to move over the courtesy runner, Kenyon Wright. And he'll take a strike there. As Owen Siemens has been working quickly for the Warriors on the mound. And this one will ricochet around at home plate, but Wilkening wears it first. So he'll reach base on a hit by pitch. Brings up Jackson Howe, backwards K his first time up. So far this season, Lorenzen has 32 Ks on his season. That one will run inside. Wilkening plenty of speed over at first. Howe shows bunt, gets it down. And on the rundown, he will not beat it out. Good throw over, but the sack bunt works.
Now batting number 11, Xavier Bush.
And it brings up Xavier Bush. Single and a run scored on an error his last time up. As so far in this contest, both runs that Norwalk has scored have come across unearned off of errors or a wild pitch. As that one does not find the zone of on the center fielder. Lorenzen will step off. Delivers. That one an awkward swing from Bush as that'll go foul. That one a grounder over to short. Fielded, struggles with it in the glove. In time. Great throw from Ethan Hall after the bobble in the glove. And there is out number 2. Runner does advance to third. And now it's Keelan Selby to stand in. Reached on an error his first time up. That one will fly out of play. Off to the right. Delivery. Cut and a miss. Swung over the curve. Quickly 0-2 now.
Very solid pitch there for Lorenzen. Gets the curveball after getting the first strike with a fastball, so fastball curve. Looking to put it away here.
That one will stay high. Trying to put him in the proverbial rocking chair. Switching up speeds. As that one can't find the zone. 2-2.
Tried to find it with the curve there, but just it broke a little late and didn't break enough for Lorenzen. Ties up the count. Good patience there for Keelan Selby.
That one, strike 3 looking. Selby goes down to the backwards K and puts an end to the Norwalk threat here in the 4th. We'll head to the top of the 5th. 5, 6, 7 due up for the Rough Riders to take on Owen Siemens. As we return, Owen Siemens' day is done. It'll be Cale Wadley to take to the mound. We saw him pitch against the DCG Mustangs in a continued game. In our first game, as this one's going to be a sharp grounder. And loading up and firing over to first is going to be Colton Moore for a first pitch out to introduce Cale Wadley into the contest. As Wadley in that first game, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 4 runs allowed, 8 hits, 2 strikeouts, and 2 walks against a very deadly DCG lineup.
And the final tallies for Owen Siemens through 4 innings.
This one's popped up on the infield. And Hans has a quick out number 2.
Trying to tell me to be quiet. So 4 innings pitched, 51 pitches thrown, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, no hits, no runs, and of course no earned runs. A very solid night of pitching for Owen Siemens.
As Wadley now has an opportunity for a very rare occurrence in the baseball world. He won't get it, though. 3 pitches, 3 outs. As it's a 1-0 count here to the designated hitcher, Bukowski. Grounded out to the pitcher his first time up. As 1-1 now. This one, high chopper on to first in time. And it's a very quick inning of work for Wadley. He only throws 5 pitches to set down the Rough Rider order. So when we return, it's the bottom of the 5th. And it's 9-1-2 due up for the Warriors. As we return, the new pitcher on the mound, Cale Wadley, stands in to continue his battle with Miles Lorenzen. And that'll run low as Lorenzen will continue in this contest. As Norwalk maybe pulling Siemens with a bit of a heat concern. Don't want to overexert him, especially if he's got to play game 2 at third base. This one grounded back up the middle, ricochets off the mound, fielded on to first in time. Good stretch there, good throw from Ethan Hall.
Now batting number 8, Colton Moore.
I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe look to do that also with their catchers. With this heat just sitting there, getting baked down in the catcher's gear. Wouldn't be surprised if one or both of these teams looks at a different catcher for game 2.
The alternate catcher for Norwalk would be Jackson Howe, who is currently still in the field, playing third base. As Colton Moore stands in, he's got a 1-for-2 day so far, so boosting his average up. Is this one a small poke that goes foul? And he's quickly down 0-2. Which kind of been the theme of his at-bats today. An 0-2 strikeout and then an 0-2 single. His first 2 times up, and now he's down 0-2 again. One might think it's going to be an action pitch here. And instead, trying to induce a chase, Lorenzen goes high.
And then looking at the lineup for Des Moines Roosevelt, their backup catcher would be a sophomore, Asher Olsen Daniel.
Has 4 games started so far this year, so it wouldn't be out of the question to see him come in to play in game 2. As it's official that it is now a full count issued to Colton Moore, so we'll see what he can do on the payoff pitch. Couple of shakes from Lorenzen. And Moore will foul this back and continue the battle.
It also could be Ethan Lovechurch, who has played in 6 games for Des Moines Roosevelt. They do have 2 catchers in the lineup, but Lovechurch has also pitched, is where his games played comes in.
This one lifted out into left center, giving chase. Center fielder puts the squeeze on it. Maddox White will have the second out of the inning.
Now batting number 9, Ashton Hahn.
And that'll bring up Ashton Hans.
Just got a little under it there for Colton Moore. It's been the story of a lot of the hits from both sides. They've had the distance and they've had a good pop on it. It's just getting carried with this wind, with this heat. You really got to steady it out, because if you can really get any part of it under it, it's going to just hang up there.
That one finds the zone on the outside, part of the plate to the left-handed hitter. Ashton Hans has a foul out and a ground out so far today. And he is quickly down 0-2 now. Hans has also had 2 strike counts in each of his innings. As Lorenzen fires in a ball. Does not clip the top part of the zone. As the 1-2, this one foul on a soft line. One, 2 count. Lift the left leg and fires. Good battle here from Hans. One, 2 count. Couple of foul balls in the AB here for Hans. That'll run low and inside. Ties it up at 2.
This is where we'll see the endurance test of this game with this heat. Now drawing well into the 70s for pitches. Can Lorenzen find something just to get out of it now? And a full count after that one went low. Really want to get out of this. We'll see, though, if eventually when he gets out of it, do they keep him in and just keep working him, or do they go to the bullpen?
This one, a soft grounder, a bit of a high chop. Dishes it over in time. A 4-3 ground up puts an end to things here in the bottom half of the 5th. We'll go to the top half of the 6th inning, where Cale Wadley will retake the mound after his 5-pitch 5th inning. Here on, pardon my French, Media 891, due up for the Rough Riders.
What is it at?
He said at 79.
79.
As we return, it's Tubbs, White, and Kelly that are guaranteed at bats here in the 6th. As this game has gone along quite nicely. As both Norwalk and Roosevelt's pitching has worked with some excellent efficiency. Big cut and a miss from the left fielder.
It's always nice to have your very efficient games in the high heat situation so you can get out of them quickly.
As the highest pitch count in an inning by either side is just sitting at 18. Both of them. And it's at 2 for Lorenzen. Lorenzen had an 18 spot in both the 2nd and 3rd innings. Other than that, it's been in the teens or lower for both of these pitchers. Or, well, I should say all 3 of these pitchers now, as Wadley has entered the game back in the 5th.
And when you look back to just last week when we called the game against DCG, Norwalk would face pitchers that went well into the 50s after finally being pulled, and that was only after an inning and a half. So a much better sighting for both teams here.
As this one's going to be out there into left center. That'll fall in. Fielded by Bush in center. Wide turn at first, but carries the momentum back to the bag for the first hit of the day for the Rough Riders. As that'll bring up Maddox White. So no shot and a no-hitter in game 1. As Howe will creep in onto the grass. He'll show bunt, pull it back for ball 1. Wadley here just trying to keep that runner where he is. Stay put as this one is fouled off.
White in a really good position if he gets that bunt down with Norwalk having to hold the runner at first. Potentially put them in a situation just to beat out the tag.
Pulls back the bunt again, and it's 2-1. Howe sitting on the infield grass, ready to charge. Bunt shown, pulled back, called strike. Beautifully executed pitch by Cale Wadley. Takes away the bunt now.
Yeah, as you mentioned, just gets the curve kind of slider, just a moving pitch that gets around the bat but stays in the zone. A really nice execution there from Wadley.
That one will run outside, and then the count is now full. I think the key part of that was the fact that he had a pitch that started in the zone and broke out, but didn't break out completely, made the batter, White, think that that ball was not going to catch the zone. Did, and that one a good battle off from White as he'll stay alive in the full count. As Wadley delivers. Grounded back. He does not go for the play at second. He'll take the easy out at first. He'll go the short way for a 1-3 fielder's choice. Does advance the runner. So White does his job, even if he does it in a little bit of a backwards way. Bring up Lucas Kelly. 0 for 1 today with a walk.
Should like to say effectively works as a sacrifice bunt, I guess you could say, but just a very short hop right into the glove of Wadley.
Nice swinging bunt. As this one will find the zone in the inside part. Kelly was taken all the way. Kelly With a runner in scoring position, that one can't break into the zone. Wadley probably could have had a play over at second to try and get the double. And that grounder to Maddox White, but I think he thought the runner was already attempting a steal, so there would be little to no point in trying to get that double play. Decides not to take the risk, which in any spot your coach will praise you for. This one ripped and fielded. A nice snag by Selby at first. As people call third base the hot corner, first base has to deal with just as much, especially with lefty hitters.
Joey Aaron.
So now with a runner at third, 90 feet away, Joey Aarons now will step up to the plate. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout today. Just looking for that hit to get Roosevelt on the board and maybe jumpstart this offense. That'll run high. That one skied up high. Schmidt might have a shot at it up against the screen. He has it. So it's a foul out to the catcher that puts an end to things here. As it's an 18-pitch inning for Cale Wadley. We'll come back. We'll have the bottom of the sixth. 3, 4, and 5 heart of the Warrior Order will take on Lorenzen again. And we'll do another ad read, thanking our sponsor, Savvy's Perspective Photography. Blink and you'll miss it. Don't let your... Excuse me. Blink and you'll miss it. Don't let your best moments disappear. Savvy's Perspective Photography captures the moments you'll want to hold on to forever. Find them on Facebook at Savvy's Perspective Photography or on Instagram at savvys.perspective.photography. Based in Ankeny and serving the surrounding areas, new clients use code SAVVY30 for 30% off your first session. That's SAVVY30. Savvy's Perspective Photography, sports, portraits, and beyond. As we return, Riley Schmidt will stand in. 0 for 2 day so far with a strikeout. On deck is the now designated hitter Owen Siemens and Brady Wilkening. As that pitch on the outside part of the plate called a strike on Riley Schmidt.
Schmidt has gone 0 for 2 on the day with a flyout and a strikeout, looking to do something better here now with a 1-1 count.
And Lorenzen up over 80 pitches now on the day here in game one. Heat seemingly not affecting him as Schmidt will pop this sky high, giving chase is win. He'll be called off by his second baseman, Luther Cox, for out number 1. As Owen Siemens now will stand in. Just 51 pitches from him. As it is still going to be a bit difficult to pick our Savvy's Perspective Photography player of the game. I think Siemens might just have to be in the lead for it, given that nobody on the offense has an RBI today. Both runs are unearned, having come across on either an error or on a wild pitch. But his courtesy runner is one of them that has scored. As an 0-1 count here. Offers at it. A half-hearted swing attempt, an attempt to check it.
And the reason why his pinch runner scored was because that he had to get on base the hard way, taking a pitch to the square of the back.
Lorenzen will step off. Comes set, kicks, and fires. Gonna ask for an appeal down to first. They say no swing. So Siemens holds up on ball one. And that one, strike three called. Siemens has a backwards K to add to his day, as that's going to be out number 2. And now Brady Wilkening will stand in. Lorenzen delivers. Finds the zone on pitch 1. As Norwalk seeing if they can get a courtesy or get an insurance run across the plate here in the bottom of the 6th before going to the top half of the 7th, where Wadley will presumably look to close things out and earn a save today, as that one finds the zone. 1-2 now to the right fielder. That one grounded back up the middle. Not fielded cleanly. An awkward hop. Makes it so that Ethan Hall can't field it, and Wilkening will reach.
Batting number 35, Jackson Howe.
Jackson Howe will stand in. It's hard to try to decide what that's going to be. Wilkening has plenty of speed, and it was a soft enough grounder where it was going to be a difficult play no matter what, so might give him an infield single on that. As this one, Howe pops it out of play. And that will be pitch 90 for Lorenzen, who has been a workhorse here for the Rough Riders. He is unfortunately in line for the loss for a little bit of a traffic jam in the 2nd that he could not quite get out of. Off of a wild pitch and an error from his infield. And Howe, this one will also find its way out of play.
Yeah, the only wild pitch that Lorenzen threw the entire game, and it came when there was a runner just 90 feet away.
That one can't quite find the outside part. Lorenzen thought he had him.
And Clausen tried his darndest to get that frame into the zone.
This one lifted out into right field in foul territory, giving chase, but having to pull up due to having no play is Lucas Kelly out there. We'll see the 2-2 again. Jackson Howe just trying to stay alive. A backwards K and a sacrifice. Runner goes. And that one, strike 3 looking. So Lorenzen has another backwards K on his ledger here today. And if results hold here, he will have finished the day off at 95 pitches. So he has been a workhorse on one of the hottest days of the year so far. We'll head to the top half of the 7th inning, where Cale Wadley will come back onto the mound to try and finish this game out for the Norwalk Warriors. As we return, it is going to be Luther Cox. It's 3, 4, and 5, the heart of the Rough Rider order. Cox, Clausen, and Hall to stand in against Cale Wadley, who will look to close things out for the Warriors. Get a win in game 1. As lift to the left leg. Delivers a strike into the zone there. Thought he had a strike on the first pitch he threw, so he kind of made extra sure that it was in the zone on the second pitch. This one, a line drive snagged by Colton Moore. There's out number 1.
Now batting number 16.
Just 2 more now for this Norwalk squad that has really played just some amazing baseball. Just very fluid, very solid. Trusting themselves when they need to and getting helped out on the base path. Taking what they're given and not trying too much on the defensive side.
As that one will fall out of the zone here to Karsten Clausen. Walking was a part of an unfortunate double play ball and has flown out to center field. This is his first time facing off against Wadley, and he'll fly this out to center field. Bush has a read on it and puts the snag on it. Little flex over there to Brady Wilkening. As Norwalk now can taste victory over the Des Moines Roosevelt Rough Riders. Kind of try to right the ship here, as they were on a 5-game skid, 6-game skid, until that victory over Dallas Center Grimes in game 2, in which they won 11-1. That one can't quite find the zone, so Norwalk just trying to continue this momentum, especially as we get closer and closer to playoff time. They want all of their batters and all of their pitchers getting hot at the right time, as this one's going to be a line drive out to center field, and Bush, little hop to snag it, and that'll end things here from game 1. It is a gem thrown by Owen Siemens in a 2-0 victory for the Norwalk Warriors. On the other side, Lorenzen also throws an absolute gem. 7 strikeouts on the day for him, only allowed 3 hits, 2 runs come across the score, but neither of them are earned. So, Ian, who do we give our Savvy's Perspective Photography player of the game to for the Norwalk Warriors?
I think just due to how much he did and how he put Norwalk in such a great position throughout the entire of the game, our Savvy's Respected Photography's player of the game is going to the starting pitcher, Owen Siemens. Through 4 innings, only 51 pitches, but that's all he needed because no hits, no runs allowed, and it set up what Norwalk would eventually go to no runs. And then on the bat, he got hit by a pitch which allowed his pinch runner to go in for scoring. So even though he went 0 for 3, one of those put a runner in was the deciding run, which was the first run of the game. So Owen Siemens is your game 1 player of the game.
Yeah, and I think Norwalk pitching in general had a beautiful day. Only 1 hit allowed, and it came off the bat of Miles Tubbs. But for Lorenzen, it's heartbreak as he's given the loss. For Siemens, it's victory. When we stay tuned, we'll be back for game 2 of coverage. We'll keep the stream up, but it will be game 2 between Norwalk and Roosevelt later tonight here on Pardon My French Media.
back here in Norwalk, Iowa for Game 2 of the Norwalk Warriors taking on the Des Moines Roosevelt Rough Riders here on Part of My French Media. Getting things off, it's going to be Jackson Howell on the mound for Norwalk, taking on this same leadoff batter for Des Moines Roosevelt, Lucas Kelly, the right fielder.
Yeah, Kelly had a very impressive game one with the walk. One of the few base runners that Owen Siemens, our player of the game, gave up in that first game. One of only two for him, and only one of three in the game in total for the Rough Riders.
As that one gets away from the catcher, Kenyon Wright. Kenyon Wright coming on as the catcher for Norwalk, so going around the horn at pitcher. It's Jackson Howe. Catching is Kenyon Wright. First is Keelan Selby. Second is Ashton Hans. And then at shortstop, the usual Colton Moore with Owen Siemens rounding out the infield. In the outfield from left to right, Cale Wadley. And then it is Xavier Bush at center with the right fielder, Brady Wilkening. As it's now a 2-2 count here on Lucas Kelly.
Yeah, pretty typical infield except for the catcher for the Warriors. But obviously with the heat today, I don't think they want to overexert anybody, especially not Riley Schmidt, who's been just such a talented hitter at the plate. Also been great defensively. So, I mean, fatigue is definitely going to be a factor here today.
That one goes out wide. The breaking ball just does not break for Jackson Howell. Makes it a full count, 3-2. So the payoff pitch from Howe. Hit on by Kelly. And it's going to be easily squeezed on by the left fielder, Cale Wadley, for the first out of the ball game.
Yeah, and we haven't seen a ton of Jackson Howe here on Pardon My French Media, but a 7 ERA through 16 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts to 13 walks, has allowed 16 earned runs on 20 hits, a 2.25 batting average against. So a couple just rough outings in relief potentially, but he started 4 games. This is his 5th.
As that first pitch is fouled away by Joey Aarons. So the lineup for this Des Moines Rough Rider, you saw Lucas Kelly in the leadoff, then Joey Aarons and Luther Cox at 2-3. The cleanup hitter is Karsten Clausen as that comes in for the second strike, 0-2 count. Then Sam Beck, Gabe Bukowski, Julian Nicolino, Sam Eric, Maddox White is the final batter in the 9th spot as that one is taken for a strike looking backwards K to get the second out for Jackson Howe.
Yeah, beautiful pitch, and Aaron's just wasn't quite ready for it. 3-pitch backwards K.
As that one goes low and inside for a ball, making a 1-0 count. For Luther Cox, the DH, he's taken the hitting duties for the pitcher for Des Moines Roosevelt, Ethan Hall. As it's now a 2-0 count. Make it 3-0 now as that last pitch from Jackson Howe goes low and in. Now trying to get out of this one quickly. And gets the strike called, so makes it a 3-1 count. Puts it back into range. Cox thought it might have been a little low. The umpire called it in the zone as that one fouled away by Cox. Makes it a full count again. So the second full count we've seen already for Jackson Howe.
Yeah, been an excellent start to today's game. Story of game one was just throwing strikes and finding the zone. I mean, it resulted in the highest pitch total being 18.
As that one will drop for Cox. Just gets away from Brady Wilkening. A liner that started a loop and was low off the bat. drops right in front of Wilkening, who will get it in. But it will be a stand-up single for Cox as it brings up Karsten Clausen, the catcher for Des Moines Roosevelt.
Yeah, and I think that's just a good piece of hitting. We saw a similar hit from Colton Moore in Game 1. Just kind of got the bat low to it and drove it through.
That one fouled away by Clausen on 1 count, 2 outs. A runner on is Cox. Hal fires and gets the top end of the zone. Makes it an 0-2 count quickly on Clausen. So the 0-2 trying to put away the batter. Can't get it to go, just outside on the righty hitter.
Good snap of the frame job by Kenyon Wright. Key part about trying to frame a pitch is you got to be quick.
The 1-2. Just high. Can't fall into the zone for Hal. Makes it a tied count. 2-2. Twos across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A runner on at first. That one hit on, going, looping, and it will stay foul. Stay down the line for the majority of its trajectory, but then eventually just looped its full course into the foul range. So still 2-2 for Karsten Clausen. Good battle here for both pitcher and catcher, hitter. The 2-2. Just outside again. Fills up the count for the 3rd time in this first inning. We were accustomed to quite short innings in Game 1 for both pitchers in this Game 2 first inning. As Cox runs, it's going to be another drooper, as it will send Cox to 3rd and Clausen trot into 1st. Off of the full count, very similar to his teammate Luther Cox. Karsten Clausen just kind of got under it, a low hit, and it was a nice one with not too much power as it drops right in front of Brady Wilkening for the 2nd straight time. So it puts runners on the corner with 2 outs. And Sam Beck, the new first baseman for Des Moines Roosevelt, up to hit.
Yeah, courtesy runner over at first base belongs to Miles Fulton, so his job will be to get back into scoring position pretty much ASAP. That way, if Beck can put bat to ball, it has the potential to drive in 2 instead of just the 1.
And that one hit, it's going to be a hopper. Owen Siemens at 3rd just fires it over the head of the first baseman. It's going to send the runner. 1 scores, another one in. And they're going to hold up Sam Beck at 3rd. The speedster get around after the poor throw from the 3rd baseman. Owen Siemens goes right over the head of Keelan Selby.
Yeah, and I think that might have to do something a bit with the fatigue from Game 1 for Siemens. Just kind of lets it loose, doesn't have the control on it that he would want. And so 2 runs come across the score on the E5.
A strike called now on Gabe Bukowski, the 2nd baseman, up in a very favorable position. A runner at 3rd after just getting scored twice. That one called a ball, makes it a 1-1 count.
I mean, Norwalk was the one to score first in Game 1. They scored in the 2nd, and then they did not score again.
That one outside to the righty. A good stop by Kenyon Wright to not allow the runner at 3rd to easily make his way home.
Yeah, and I think the key here is that we now get to see how Norwalk performs under pressure from this offense for the first time tonight. See how they can respond in kind.
3-1 now from Jackson Howe. Lifts, fires, gets the inside corner. Fills up the count for the third straight time and the fourth time tonight, and we're just in the first inning. That one gets away, and it's going to score the runner, and it was low, so it makes it another ball, which will be the fourth one. So now 3-0 as the coaching staff for Norwalk is going to have a talk to their young pitcher, Jackson Howe. We'll take a quick break here on Part of My French Media. Back here now in Norwalk, the Des Moines Roosevelt Rough Riders have got on top quickly in a good fashion. 3-0, all coming off of 2 outs. The runner goes, can't get the tag down as the ball leaves the glove of the second baseman, Ashton Hans. It's Julian Nicolino up as Gabe Bukowski, the runner at first, now moves himself into scoring position at second.
Nicolino, 462 batter. Has 4 RBIs on the season.
That one hit right to Colson Moore and gets the nice put out at first to end the inning and stop the bleeding. But after the top half of 1, it's 3-0 in favor of Roosevelt. Norwalk trying to clear things up as they will come up to bat for the first time in this game too. Back here on Part of My French Media for the bottom half of the first inning. It was the Rough Riders of Des Moines Roosevelt getting off to a quick start with a 3-0 lead. It's now Norwalk's turn at the bats to write their own story, getting in the scoring column. To start things off, it's Colton Moore, the shortstop, who takes a high pitch for ball 1. The rest of the lineup, it's Ashton Hans and Riley Schmidt as 2-3. Owen Siemens, the cleanup hitter, at 4. Brady Wilkening, Kenyon Wright, Xavier Bush, Keelan Selby, and Cale Wadley is 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It's Riley Schmidt going to DH in the third spot with Jackson Howe, the pitcher, not hitting. As it's going to be quickly a 3-0 count on Colton Moore. That one finds the inside edge for the first strike of the game for pitcher Ethan Hall. This one up high and outside for a ball 4. Take your base, Colton Moore.
Now batting number 9, Ashton Hans.
So a 5-pitch walk for Colton Moore as it brings up Ashton Hans. Both Hans and Moore had difficult games, going 1-6 collectively, with only Colton Moore getting a single and then getting stranded at third. Everything else was an out, with Colton Moore striking out and flying out. Looking to do better in this game too. Ashton Hans takes ball 1, so it's a 1-0 count. That one finds the outside edge, ties up the count 1-1. No outs, as it's just been 2 batters, and Colton Moore is standing at first.
More itching to go. Two here, he's always itching to go.
Took the secondary but stayed up as Hans watches strike number 2 go by in the same position on the outside edge.
See if he can't just poke that into the left field area.
1-2, stays outside, makes it a 2-2 count now here for Ashton Hans.
I mean, that's the best thing you can do as a lefty to a right-handed pitcher that's just pitching away from you. Because he's not going to work any of his glove side stuff into your barrel.
A big swing and a miss. That's strike 3 for Ashton Hans. First out of the night for Norwalk, and it comes as a strikeout.
Yeah, just beat him with a fastball, and again, he's not throwing anything that's going to move glove side, move into his barrel, unless he's trying to get it in on the hands.
This brings up Riley Schmidt, the DH, hitting for Jackson Howe, the pitcher. Swings on the first one, pops it up, will go into foul territory. Moore doesn't run as it's reeled in by the first baseman, Sam Beck, for 2 quick outs for Ethan Hall, the pitcher. That one, fly out in foul territory to the first baseman. Now the cleanup hitter, Owen Siemens, trying not to strand the lone runner at first. The second time, if he doesn't get around, Colton Moore gets stranded tonight. That one stays inside the zone to the righty Owen Siemens. 0-1 count. 2 outs as Moore is still itching to go. Will probably not go now more than ever with 2 outs on the board. That one goes inside and low to Siemens. Make it a 1-1 count. That one up high for Siemens. So it's a 2-1 count. Hall looks over to Moore. Moore just dancing around at first. Hall fires. That one stays inside the zone. 2-2 count now. 2s all across the board here for Ethan Hall. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hall will look at first. Fires, swing and a miss, strike 3. Owen Siemens goes down to end the bottom of the first in the first inning. So after 1 inning, it's 3-0 Des Moines. Roosevelt will come back to hit with the 3-0 lead here on Part of My French Media. Back here for the top of the second inning. It's going to be a pitching change for Norwalk. After a struggle-filled first inning, Jackson Howe will end his night, and in comes Benton Bruner.
Howe exits, 1 inning pitch, 3 runs allowed, none of them earned. On 2 hits, 1 strikeout, 1 walk, and an E5 against Owen Siemens. Or excuse me, and Siemens is also out of the game. It's Jackson Howe now at third.
It was Siemens who way overfired Keelan Selby at first, which allowed for the runs to start scoring. As it's quickly 0-2, it was a strike down the middle looking, and that one fouled away by the 8th spot hitter, the shortstop Sam Eric.
Yeah, and I mean, we had quick conversation with a coach who came up here to give us lineups.
That one popped up by Eric, squeezed on by the second baseman, Ashton Hans.
And he was talking about how quick innings are better innings because it's going to reduce fatigue, it's going to reduce stress, and I think after the 4th, he just noticed that Siemens looked a little gassed, so he took him out, and past that, I think he was still showing some of that fatigue at third. So they're just going to do what's best for Siemens and take him out of the game so that he's not going to, strain himself past his breaking point.
Especially as we've been mentioning all game.
It's hot.
It's hot, and when you're looking down, the playoffs are looming. Brackets have already been released. As that one, Colton Moore got it, fired just not in time. It was a soft grounder from Maddox White, the 9th-spot hitter for Des Moines Roosevelt, who just kind of chopped it up, and it was Colton Moore who got it, just couldn't pull a full throw on it, and it was a 2-hopper that went right into the glove of Keelan Selby, just not in time. So Maddox White with the single. But yeah, the playoffs loom brackets have already been released. You don't want to get a guy injured or overexerted right before that, as they will be in just a couple of days. As that one goes off of the plate or foot of Kenyon Wright or in front of him, as it just squirts away from him, and it allows for Maddox White to score.
Yeah, and I think the other part of that is that it's also kind of why they're just letting Schmidt DH here. Norwalk is being very careful with their players. They recognize how hot it is outside, and they don't want heat exhaustion to kick in, or even at the very worst, heat stroke to kick in.
That one, hard hit ball down the first base line, will stay foul. Wilkening does not move an inch as he registered that one. And we've talked about the heat. These players do not want to move if they do not have to.
No, not at all. I mean, we saw a couple plays earlier where it was a soft dribbler down the first base line where if, say, Selby had charged at it, he might have had it, been able to tag the runner out. But don't exert energy if you don't have to. And just keep yourselves as fresh as possible for when you come to the plate. Because I think that's where Norwalk needs to do damage right now. I mean, in the field, Colton Moore is going to give it 100% no matter where he is. So is everybody else on this defense. But it's just a matter of you have to pick your moments to shine forward and try to make that superstar play.
Lucas Kelly now the leadoff hitter for Des Moines Roosevelt with a 3-1 count. Watches that one stay in. Fulls it. 3-2 count now with a singular out. Coming from Sam Eric, it's Maddox White at second. 3-2-1 on the board. That one fired, hit on, and it's going to fall in front of Wilkening. The runner goes, and it got away from Wilkening as the ball will continue to roll into the fence. Kelly goes to third, and White scores. Makes it 4-0 in favor of the Rough Riders, as Kelly will be standing up at third. Joey Aarons comes up to the plate, a runner just 90 feet away and only 1 out.
As I believe that is the first RBI of the day. I think it's going to be a double and then scored as a E9 on Wilkening for the runner to advance to third. But that double would have been just enough to score Maddox White, so I think he will get credit for that RBI, which was our first RBI of either game. It's been a weird day in Norwalk, as I believe our softball coverage here on Pardon My French Media has also started. So if you've been waiting for that patiently, thanks for tuning in here and have fun at softball against Winterset.
As that one is a ranked matchup, 2 ranked opponents playing late into the season.
It feels like the rest of Norwalk's softball schedule is against ranked opponents. I mean, it is just a brutal stretch of teams to play.
The 1-1 pitch up high on Joey Aarons. So now 2-1 count for Aarons. Aarons struck out looking a backwards K for him in his first at-bat just last inning. Now trying to do better. That one tipped, fouled away. So a 2-2 count now. It was Lucas Kelly and Joey Aarons, the 1 and 2 spot hitter for Des Moines Roosevelt, who got the first 2 outs in inning 1. And then we know what happened later. Right now, Kelly responded to his flyout first inning with a double and gets around to third, all in the same sequence. Now Aarons with a 3-2 full count, trying to do better than a backwards K strikeout. And still only 1 out coming from Sam Eric, what feels like a millennia ago. That one hit high, still lofting up, squeezed on by the center fielder, will send the runner, and easily will score as Lucas Kelly. A sacrifice RBI for Joey Aarons gives us the second RBI of the night.
Yeah, and it brings up Luther Cox. It's still 2 outs left. So it's a productive out for Roosevelt, and it's an out for Norwalk as they're just trying to get out of this inning before allowing another crooked number up on the board.
That one high and a ball for Luther Cox, as the score now is 5-0 in favor of Des Moines. The 1-0 count hit on and easily squeezed on by Cale Wadley out in left field. So that one ends the inning, but not before Des Moines Roosevelt scores 2 more to make it a 5-0 ball game. We'll head to the bottom half of the second inning where Norwalk will try to rewrite the ship. Here now for the bottom half of the second inning. It's the 5, 6, 7 as our guaranteed hitters. Brady Wilkening will step up to the plate for the first time in this game too.
Yeah, Wilkening has played well today. I mean, out in right field, he's been in fantastic defensively. Did his job, sacrificed bunt, got hit by a pitch, singled. Technically a 1-for-1 day for him at the plate. Just nothing really came from his opportunities at the plate and his opportunity on the base paths.
Wilkening will now look with a 2-0 count, awaiting Ethan Hall. Hall fires. That one fouled away by Wilkening, making it a 2-1 count. One of the balls got missed. It's actually a 1-2 count. This one looking low. They're going to say no swing, and it wasn't a strike, so a 2-2 count. Wilkening started to run.
See, look of panic on his face of, did I swing? Oh, I got to run.
Oh, yeah, he looked at the umpire like, wait, am I supposed to be running? And drops the bat, starts going, and then the umpire's like, no, you're good.
Yeah, we could see him giggling and laughing with home plate about it too. Just like I thought I had to go.
So the 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Out number 1 of the bottom half of the second inning comes from Brady Wilkening. 5-pitch strikeout, swinging.
Yeah, and I mean that's just a good pitch up high. Not much of the hitter's going to do to it that is going to be solid contact. I mean, it's going to either pop up on the infield. It's going to carry a bit more to the outfield, maybe, but other than that, not much.
So the now catcher Kenyon Wright, first pitch, just a big swing, and almost caught. I guess it technically was caught, but not after it was tipped into the fence by the first baseman, and then the catcher just got the ricochet. So just a foul ball. 0-1 count, 1 out. Nobody on for Kenyon Wright, the catcher. Kenyon Wright was the pinch runner in game 1, and then has now come on as the catcher to give Riley Schmidt a break from the heavy catcher's gear in this heat. Another big hit, that one up in the air once again. But this one will stay into playable territory as the first baseman will catch it, Sam Beck, to get out number 2.
Quick start to the inning here for Ethan Hall. Just 16 pitches in inning number 1. He's at 7 in this one. Norwalk needs to make him work a bit harder.
If we've seen anything from game 1, it doesn't matter. The pitcher in game 1, Miles Lorenzen, pitched all 6 innings that he was needed for, just under 100 pitches, and was just all fine and dandy. As that one will foul away into foul territory and out of play, makes it a 1-1 count for Xavier Bush, the center fielder.
Yeah, realistically, it was just a couple mistakes from Lorenzen. If it weren't for that, we'd probably still be in game 1 in extras.
Swung on and missed by Bush, makes it a 1-2 count. Puts Ethan Hall in a very nice position to get out of this one quickly. The 1-2 in the zone, caught looking at Xavier Bush to end the second inning as we go into the top of the third. Roosevelt up big, 5-0. Back here for the top of the third, it's Des Moines Roosevelt with the 5-0 lead. As it brings up the 4, 5, and 6 spot hitters, Karsten Clausen will start things off. Clausen got on and scored in the first inning. Now here in the third, trying to do something similar. If for Norwalk, just trying to get out of this one quickly. Is that one hard hit ball to the second baseman, Hans to Selby to get out number 1. And that is exactly what Bettenbrunner and this Norwalk squad wants to do. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of something. That's what we saw from Cale Wadley when he came on in that 5th inning. It was 1 pitch, 1 out, 2 pitches, 2 outs. So trying to recreate some success here that his teammates had.
Now comes up Sam Beck, who doubled and then got to third off of the error. That one low and a ball. So the 1-0 count now for Sam Beck, the first baseman. Make it a 2-0 count now as that one goes low again. Beck drove in both the first of the 2 of the 3 runs in the first inning for Des Moines Roosevelt. He very hardly hits that ball down the third base line, but immediately foul and will stay foul. So it's a 2-1 count. And then Beck was eventually driven in himself to get the final run of the first inning. And then followed up with 2 more in the top of the second, as they will be down to just 1 more out to keep their run streak alive, as Sam Beck grounds out to third, who fires it over to first for out number 2.
Now batting number 6, Gabe Bukowski.
Gabe Bukowski now up to the plate. The Rough Riders' last chance to keep their run streak alive here in the top of the 3rd. Bruner looks, fires. That one just drops too low for ball number 1, the 1-0 count.
Bruner's kind of just been the ace reliever for the Warriors this season.
That one gets underneath the glove of Kenyon Wright as it goes into the backstop. But nobody on, so no worries there. 2-0 count now to Gabe Bukowski. Bruner trying to get back up into the count. That one nearly hits Bukowski as it stays wide in. So the 3-0 count now with 2 outs for Bukowski. That one, 4-pitch walk for Gabe Bukowski, as he will head to first.
Julian Nicolino.
And it will bring up Julian Nicolino, the left fielder, with a runner on.
Nicolino, again, just a junior. But he's batting .462, and I mean, he's been good when he's come on. 1050 OPS.
That one low and outside from Bettenbrunner to Nicolino to make it a 1-0 count with a runner on and 2 outs. Brunner looks at first, lifts up the leg, fires as the runner goes, but the throw just not hard enough and not in time enough, as Bukowski will cleanly get to second and make it a 1-1 count, as that one was a strike, as Nicolino takes the strike and allows his runner to go to second. So the 1-1 fires, swung on, and it hits off the plate, so makes it a foul ball. It's a 1-2 count now, 2 outs. Nicolino trying not to strand his runner now in scoring position at second, which was a common theme in Game 1 for Des Moines Roosevelt. The 1-2 pitch, just poked it. Ashton Hans cleanly gets to it, gets the out. The routine play a lot closer than it probably needed to be, but it does get the out and will end the inning, and Roosevelt's run streak ends at the top of the 3rd. But going into the bottom of the 3rd, it is Des Moines Roosevelt with a 5-0 lead. And we would like to thank our sponsor, Savvy's Perspective Photography. Blink and you'll miss it. Don't let your best moments disappear. Savvy's Perspective Photography captures the moments you'll want to hold on to forever. Find them on Facebook at Savvy's Perspective Photography or on Instagram at savvy's.perspective.photography. Based in Ankeny and serving the surrounding areas, new clients use code SAVVY30 for 30% off your first session. That's SAVVY30. Savvy's Perspective Photography, sports, portraits, and beyond. The Norwalk Athletic Booster Club exists solely for the purpose of supporting our middle and high school athletic programs. The Booster Club is a volunteer organization that raises funds through memberships, sponsorships, and fundraising events to support and enhance Warrior athletics for all middle and high school student athletes. It's a fun way to be involved, meet other parents, and work together to provide supplemental resources for our Warriors. If you're a Warrior fan, consider joining the NABC. If you have some time to give, even better. Talk to Mr. Toby about volunteering, and as always, show up in the bleachers to support these Warriors. Back here for the bottom of the third. Taking ball number 1 is Keelan Selby, the first baseman. It's going to be 8-9, and then top of the order 1 as our guaranteed hitters. So the 1-0 count. Swung on, hard hit ball to the shortstop. Will fire, and the easy 6-3 ground out. And it was Sam Eric who threw to the first baseman to get the first out of the inning. Which brings up the 9-spot hitter, Cale Wadley, the left fielder, to try to get on and do something for this Norwalk offense.
Yeah, Wadley's been so good recently about getting on base and really becoming a boon for this offense. So he needs to find a way to jumpstart things here in game 2, already down by 5.
That one stays inside again, makes it a 2-0 count. With 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Warriors trail by 5 after the Rough Riders had a very solid inning 1 and 2. That one gets the zone, makes it a 2-1 count now. With 1 out. That one low and inside. Making it a 3-1 count now for Cale Wadley. That one high, so it's a 5-pitch walk for Cale Wadley as he gets on the base and the first base runner of the game for Norwalk, as it will bring up the top of the order in the 1 spot, Colton Moore.
Yeah, and Moore walked his first time. He needs to find a way to continue that. Keep moving these runners over.
That one high. This was my apologies. Cale Wadley would be the second base runner, the first one since the first inning for Norwalk, as that makes it a 1-0 count. That one way outside. A good snag by the opposing catcher, Karsten Clausen, as that one almost gets away from him and would very much allow for Wadley to get to second easily. 2-0 count now. That one outside again. Makes it a 3-0 count. Great hitters count for Colton Moore, as he looks to potentially get his second walk of the night.
Here's some fireworks going off.
That one high. Maybe the fireworks were messing with the pitcher, or just slips out of his hand. That one a 4-pitch walk, as the coaching staff will come on to talk with their pitcher, Ethan Hall. Will be right back. You're a part of My French Media. Back here after the conversation at the pitching mound. Everything looks to be all right and dandy. That one to Ashton Hans. Outside, you go from a righty pitcher where you pitch solely on the outside, trying to get him to go outside and up. And all forward balls. Now a lefty hitter comes into the box and you're thrown outside again. That one does catch the outside edge. Ethan Hall has been really trying to open up the zone for much of these last 3 innings and finally gets that one to get called. Makes it a 1-1 count with 2 runners on. A runner in scoring position is Cale Wadley. A healthy cut is missed by Ashton Hahn, so makes it a 1-2 count now with 1 out. It's Cale Wadley at second, Colton Moore on first after back-to-back walks from Hall. That one, swing and a miss. Strike 3. The umpire started to do some hand movements I thought was a foul tip.
Riley Schmidt.
No, clearly just a swing and a miss. Strike 3 makes it 2 outs now. As Riley Schmidt, the DH, will come up. Trying to do anything for his squad and not strand 2 runners in very good position. That one outside makes it a 1-0 count.
Schmidt just looking for someone to drive here. I mean, he's been struggling a little bit with some of that extra base power.
And that one plunks him hard. Looks like it was either right up of the numbers in like the square of the back in where the collarbone and neck bone meets, or it was right in the neck. Either way, that one's going to leave a mark.
Yeah, from what I saw, it hit him basically square in the shoulder. Somewhere in there.
Which is all bone, which is very painful. As that will fill up the base path with a runner on first, 2 runners in scoring position at second, and a runner at third.
As Aiden Walters going to pinch hit here, as it is official that Siemens Day is done. So Aiden Walter, the junior, a 214 average so far in his Norwalk athletic career. At least in the baseball aspect.
Walter has 6 hits, and he has 6 RBIs. So all of his hits have equaled his RBIs. As that one goes way outside, makes it a 1-1 count now on Aiden Walter. Looking to add a 7th hit and at minimum a 7th RBI to his total here. With bases loaded, the 1-1 count. That one stays outside, makes it a 2-1 count now. Good watchful eye from Walter and patience from him. So the 2-1 count. Watches it again, and it hits the same position, just out on the outside edge. 3-1 count now.
Gotta be frustrating on the mound for Hall. You've been throwing it in kind of the same area a few times now, and I think one of them's been called for a strike, and the other ones just haven't quite caught.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. That one would have been ball 4. Just the movement of the ball gets Walter to swing. So 3-2 count now. 2 outs, runners advance. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So with bases loaded, Ethan Hall gets out of a very tricky situation to keep no runs on the board for him. As it ends the 3rd inning, we go to the top of the 4th. Des Moines Roosevelt up 5-0. Here in the top of the fourth, it's Sam Emke, the shortstop, to lead things off for the Rough Riders. With the 5-0 lead, if they get 5 more between these next 2 innings and keep Norwalk's score the same, they will come out with an early exit as Emke hard hits ball, and that's going to go out of the glove of Jackson Howe at third. Howe, who replaced Owen Siemens at third, just didn't get a clean grab on that one as Emke will get to first.
He'll reach on an E5. As it is Aiden Walter on the bump. The junior, so far this season, an 8.59 ERA. He's struggled in some games.
Walter will fire to first. Keelan Selby to try to get the pick off. And then an unclean throwback from Selby to Walter. But nobody advances, so still 1 runner on with 1 ball. The 1-0 count just inside makes it a 2-0 count now for Maddox White, the 9-spot hitter. So the 2-0 count puts the butt on, and that one will land in foul territory. Makes it a 2-1 count now. Had that been a clean one, it would have been a nice bunt there, as it would have found its way in between pitcher and third, with Jackson Howe playing just on the edge of, and now just inside the edge between the turf and the grass. Walter will throw back to first once again, but to no avail. So still 2-1 count for Aiden Walter. On the hitter, Maddox White for Des Moines Roosevelt. The center fielder singled. As that one, the bunt will lay down. Howe will get the just throw away from first base. It would have been a very easy routine play, but just the throw got away from him to first, as it allows Sam Emke to get to second and Maddox White to be up at first.
Yeah, back-to-back E5s to start the inning. I mean, it's not really his natural position. I mean, he's supposed to be a bit of a utility man for this team. He's played a bit of everything. I mean, he's been behind the dish. He's played second a couple times. He's played third.
That one a hard hit ball to center, as the runner will wisely not go. So Colton Moore just pretended to throw the ball at Sam Emke at second, who flinches. Because I think anybody in their right mind would flinch if Colton Moore pretends to throw a ball full force at you.
Yeah, and I think they're not testing any of the outfield arms because, I mean, they're some of the strongest on the team.
As Joey Aarons will lay down the bunt, and his speed will beat the throw. So after Lucas Kelly, first pitch flies out at the leadoff spot. In the 1 spot, Joey Aarons hit the 2 spot, the cleanup spot for this 4th inning. Will lay down a bunt, move everybody around, and then get on safely. So bases loaded with only 1 out now, as Luther Cox, who singled and scored in the 1st inning, then flew out in the 2nd, will come up in the 4th with bases loaded, as I aforementioned. He will take the first pitch as a strike, so 0-1 count, 1 out. Aiden Walter trying to get out of this tricky situation. Hard hit ball in between first and second, as 1 runner will score and nobody else goes, just moves everybody around. So Sam Emke will score, Maddox White to third, Joey Aarons to second, and Luther Cox to first, making it a 6-0 ball game as Karsten Clausen will come up to bat. That one, a ball outside to the righty hitter. So a 1-0 count. The bases loaded, 1 out. 6-0 is our score. It's Luther Cox at first, Aaron's at second, and White at third as that one is low for Karsten Clausen. Making it a 2-0 count. Clausen got on and scored in the first inning, and then a 4-3 grounders. That one low, gets away from Kenyon Wright, but just shallow enough as it won't send the runner, Maddox White, at third to home. Everybody stays up where they're at, but it's a 3-0 count. A very tricky count now for Aiden Walter. So the 3-0, that one finds his own 3-1 count and avoids the walk and score. So the 3-1 count now. Hit on in between the gap at third and short as both players were holding runners at their respective bases. And it allows for 2 runners to score. And a pinch runner will come on for Karsten Clausen, who is the catcher. Maddox White scores, and so does Joey Aarons. As it sends Luther Cox to second. And Clausen will get to first off of the single and the 2 RBI. And he will have a pinch runner, but there is a mound visit, so we'll take a short break. Back here after the short break, Walters will stay on the mound. It is an 8-0 score after the 2-run single from Karsten Clausen will score the runner that were formerly at third and second. It moves Luther Cox from first to second. And as I aforementioned, Clausen and his pinch runner are at first as it brings up Sam Beck, the first baseman. Takes ball number 1. We'll watch the second pitch be a strike. So a 1-1 count, and this is all coming from 1 out.
Yeah, and I think the key thing here is that there have only been 3 earned runs in this entire game.
As that one's a hard hit ball and can't get caught, tried to get under it. But the dive won't work as it scores 1. It will score 2. And Beck will scramble into third. So it is a triple. And I think that would be a legit triple, as that was a very tough play to make for the center fielder, Xavier Bush.
Yeah, that's going to be a 2-run triple, and Beck just had to make a liar out of me, as now there are 5 earned runs in this game, but 5 unearned runs that Norwalk has allowed to come across to score on a few E5s. I mean, I think it's been 3 E5s in total. So, yeah, it's just been a rough go of things here for the defense, and especially at the hot corner without Siemens there.
So Gabe Bukowski now up to bat. Takes the first strike with a ball on the count. So it's a 1-1 count. And still just 1 out as a runner on 90 feet away at third. He crouches, just hits the glove. And then nobody was there to back him up. As Colton Moore will do the smart thing and not throw the ball away as it scores Sam Beck to make it 11-0 and puts a runner on first as Bukowski will single. And Julian Nicolani will come up to hit.
Yeah, I think Biggest thing there is the decision from Moore just to eat that play and not try to risk a throwaway that gets another runner into scoring position and continue this rally for Roosevelt as a very large crooked number already on the board. Do not want to make it worse or exacerbate the issue by making an error.
So Des Moines Roosevelt has doubled plus some of their score going into this inning. They came in with a 5-0 lead and now has bolstered it to an 11-0 lead, and all coming off of one out. Has that one fouled away, and I think may have hit a car or just went under it. Nope, it stays in play. I thought that one went out of the fenced area that keeps the cars in the field separated. Did not. So now a 1-2 count for Julian Nicolani with Pikowski at. And that one hard hit ball. 4-6. Can the 3? Got it to go to end the inning and stop the bleeding there. It is a 4-6-3 double play to end the top of the 4th. And after a lot of scoring from Des Moines Roosevelt, it's 11-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Norwalk trying to now score to avoid the mercy rule. Back here for the bottom of the 4th, it's Norwalk trying to right any of their ships that are now way out of line. And to do that, it's the 5, 6, 7 spot. Brady Wilkening, Kenyon Wright, Xavier Bush. Wilkening up first. And we'll watch the first pitch be a ball outside for this righty. So a 1-0 count. And unlike Norwalk, who has now gone through 3 pitchers through 3 innings, now into the 4th, it's still the same inning. Same pitcher, Ethan Hall, has that one. Will go low, so a 2-0 count now.
Yeah, and I think Norwalk's had 5 pitchers through 2 games. Roosevelt's had 2 pitchers. They've had their starter go deep into both of these contests so far. Hall has really just kind of broken my expectations. I mean, looking at his stats coming into the game, I saw them, and I saw a 6.33 ERA with a 1.69 WHIP, and I really thought, this is a game that might be a high-scoring affair on both sides. No, he's really come through, and he has shoved when he's needed to. He's really commanded the strike zone in certain at-bats, and he's been impressive no matter what the count is. I mean, even now in the 3-0, he just battled back to a 3-2. And, I mean, he's just been so impressive. And, I mean, the command he shows with his pitches, he's throwing it where he wants it, just maybe not getting some calls from the umpires.
So as you mentioned, after going up in the count, has now made it a 3-2 count. That's a high hit ball, and will soar out of play. So still 3-2 count for Brady Wilkening. Went up in the count and then just 2 foul balls. And then another one later has kept it a 3-2 full count. As if everything holds, Norwalk is now down to 6 outs of this game. only here in the bottom of the 4th, as that one will be fouled out of play once again. And this is the first time that Norwalk has really extended an at-bat and forced Ethan Hall to pitch to them. Something they did decently well in game 1. As that one is a nice breaking ball from Ethan Hall to get Brady Wilkening swinging for out number 1 of this bottom of the 4th.
7th strikeout on the day for Hall. And I mean, his season total is 29 through 24 and a third. So he's averaging about a strikeout an inning, maybe a strikeout and change. But, you know, he's averaging 2 strikeouts an inning right now. And he's hit that in every inning he's pitched in so far.
Up now is Kenyon Wright. Watch the first be inside. Watch the first one be outside, and that one goes way inside. Makes it a 2-0 count now. So 2-0 count now for Kenyon Wright. Ethan Hall fires. That one will graze the tower once again. Kenyon Wright has to get out of the way. So a 3-0 count now. 1 out after the strikeout from Wilkening. They will try to get anything going here. And that one will stay inside once again. So the third base runner, 4th base runner now, 5th base runner now. Trying to count all of them. 5th base runner now for Norwalk.
Yeah, still sitting at a hitless night, though, for the Warriors. As it's been 4 walks and a hit by pitch that have been their base runners so far today. Have not managed to get a ball out of the infield or to drop in the outfield or even a speedy infield single.
So brings up Xavier Bush to hit with a runner on. 1 out from the Wilkening strikeout. That one stay up for ball 1. One of the things, though, even though he has pitched effectively, does like to start a count with the ball, is Ethan Hall, but does a very nice job of getting back into it as he goes down early. 2-0 count to Xavier Bush. Bush struck out looking in his first at-bat in inning number 2, now here in the 4th. Trying to do something better with a runner on as he watches that one go for a strike. So 2-1 count now, 1 out. The score for those just tuning in, 11-0. Des Moines Roosevelt scored 5 between inning 1 and 2, and then in the 4th scored 6. As that one hard hit ball, it'll be tough. And it's going to be a foul ball. I lost it in the sun, but it just kept looping. It was already wide to the right, but then it just kept looping and looping and eventually went foul. So makes it a 2-2 count now for Xavier Bush.
As a score update from Norwalk softball, Winterset leads the Warriors 3-2 in the top half of the 3rd inning. As we'll head to the bottom half of the 3rd inning over there.
That one hit to 3rd. Will just fire to 1st. Get the out. I don't even know if you consider that an easy out. They just went for the one that seemed easier in their mind. Not going to 2nd, but going to 1st. And they get the back runner. So Xavier Bush is out, and it moves Kenyon Wright to 2nd. Off of the 5-3 grounder. And that one, hard hit ball. And it will drop foul for Keelan Selby. So it's an 0-1 count for Keelan Selby, the first baseman, who first came to the plate in the 3rd inning and grounded out for the first out of the 3rd. Now here with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, trying to do something for his Norwalk squad. as he watches the second strike of this at-bat. An 0-2 count for him. Norwalk has to score 2 times now between this inning and the 5th inning to avoid the mercy rule as he gets a piece of that one to make it still an 0-2 count as he fouls away and stays alive. Kenyon Wright is the runner at second. That one up high. Makes it a 1-2 count.
Needs to find something here. Can't chase, but certainly can't help but protect the zone. Just have to be wary of the breaking stuff. And, I mean, you can't sit breaking pitch here either. You kind of have to sit fastball and then slow your swing down and adjust it to a breaking pitch. But
the 1-2 hit on to third. And we'll fire to first again and get the out. So another 5-3 ground out. This time to end the inning. So after 4, it's 11-0 in favor of Des Moines Roosevelt, who will come up to hit once again here in the top of the 5th. And at this time, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Savvy's Perspective Photography. Blink and you'll miss it. Don't let your best moments disappear. Savvy's Perspective Photography captures the moments you'll want to hold on to forever. Find them on Facebook at Savvy's Perspective Photography or on Instagram at savvys.perspective.photography. Based in Ankeny, serving the surrounding areas. New clients use code SAVVY30 for 30% off your first session. That's SAVVY30. Savvy's Perspective Photography, sports, portraits, and beyond. Back here for the top of the 5th, it's Des Moines Roosevelt up to hit once again, leading things off as he did in the 4th inning. It's Sam Emke.
Aiden Walter here just kind of needs to stop the bleeding, not allow more runs to come across, and not allow Norwalk to fall into a deficit that is kind of insurmountable to keep this game alive.
So the 1-0 count as the first pitch went low and outside. That one just goes low to make it a 2-0 count for Sam Emke. And as you mentioned here for Norwalk, they just want to get out of this one quickly. Had a very long 4th inning, so to have a shorter 5th would be all much appreciated. As the heat, it's gone down a little bit since the start, but still it's 87 degrees with an extreme heat warning, so just brutal to play through this entire one as that one goes low and bounces out of the glove of Kenyon Wright, backing up home plate, but nobody on and just went a little bit to the left, so all fine in the world as it's now a 3-1 count. And that one goes low and will walk the batter. So a 5-pitch walk to start things off here in the 5th from Aiden Walter as it sends Sam Emke to first.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like temperature is still 99 degrees outside. So it's still brutal out there for these players.
Did you say 99?
99 feels like.
Just brutal.
You want to make it worse? 62% humidity. It's hot, it's humid, and there is no breeze. It's muggy outside. Just kind of a bad night. Beautiful night, like visually.
Visually beautiful night for some baseball, especially as the sun has gotten low. It looks like a beautiful night, but when you whoa, I thought that was the ball for a second, and then I see the bright orange as it's a 1-2 count as Maddox White sends that bat swinging.
He tore his gloves. He tore his gloves with that swing. That's what happened. He swung the bat so hard, he ripped his gloves. So he has to take the rest of the AB with a metal bat, gloveless.
In this heat, oh, I mean, you know, the sweat, maybe
Ow.
the sweatiness of the hands just got in the glove as he sends that one to center field to get the first out. Xavier Bush will put the squeeze on. So for some recap, Maddox White swung his bat so hard and so aggressively, he tore through his batting gloves, sent the bat flying behind him into the net, and then had to take the rest of the bat gloveless, which if you played baseball at any level past middle school, that hurts a lot, as that one almost nails Lucas Kelly, the lefty batter, in the back, as Kenyon Wright will have to come out of the box to save it.
Can't say I've ever seen a player tear through their batting gloves in an at-bat.
I have not. Is that one hard hit ball? Lucas Kelly at the line. It'll stay in off the top of the fence. All slide. Everybody slides in. Emke will slide into third safely. And Lucas Kelly will be up for a double.
Yeah, that's a pretty piece of hitting. Just gets it a little bit more elevated. That might be gone, and Wilkening's tired after running after that one. Hands on knees. Again, I mean, it's just been a long night. I mean, game one went quickly, but a couple of really long innings in the field for some of these fielders is just going to drain any life you have left in you.
So up now, and another batter who just throws their bat. Did he rip through his glove also?
I don't think so. I think he was checking him.
He was checking.
He was checking him.
He had to check to make sure he didn't do. And now they're just spraying, like, I think the sticky stuff, or maybe it's water to help enhance the gloves.
It could be tar.
Could be tar.
Just pine tar.
Yeah, liquid tar. As the second straight batter the second batter of this inning sends that one flying to the net. Thank goodness there's nets installed, because if not, two people would be going home in a very brutal situation. As that one is outside to make it a 1-1 count here for Joey Aarons. Aarons hits with two runners in scoring position, a runner at third and a runner at second. That's Sam Emke and Lucas Kelly, respectively, as that one goes outside and low to this righty to make it a 2-1 count. So still 11-0, but two runners from Des Moines Roosevelt trying to increase that lead and to add more insurance runs as they go into the bottom of the fifth, potentially, hoping to keep a mercy rule in tow. As that one will go low, make it a 3-1 count. That one low again, and fills up the bases as Aarons will walk. And it brings up Luther Cox with a full house here on the bases. Aiden Walters with bases loaded fires to Luther Cox and gets the zone 0-1 count here. The bases loaded. Cox has gone 2 for 3 on the day. 2 runs, got on base twice, and then flew out in the third, and will fly out again here in the fifth.
Fly.
An infield fly rule enhances everybody's on. No reason to do anything too crazy. So makes the second out as it was reeled in by the second baseman, Ashton Hans. And it brings up Karsten Klassen, the catcher for Des Moines Roosevelt.
Walter just wants to get out of this inning, head back into the dugout. Or excuse me, it isn't even Eden Walter out there anymore. It's been Noah Fagan this entire time.
That is our fault.
I
One
saw a
of the-
lefty. I saw a lefty and a defaulted Aiden Walter, so.
Yeah, that is number 14 for Norwalk, Noah Fagan.
Just his 4th appearance on the season, 6 innings pitched, a 4.67 ERA.
Everything that has happened in this inning comes off of the arm of Noah Fagan, who still, to his credit, has done very well in this one, despite having bases loaded now in this situation. It is a 3-0 count now, but has gotten to 2 outs. Finds the zone there, makes it a 3-1 count, and puts himself in a better position. That's Karsten Clausen. We'll look to bring in an insurance run there. And that one low. So Clausen will walk off of 5 pitches. Emke will score.
Now batting number 7, Sam Beck.
Kelly goes to 3rd. And Aarons will go to 2nd. And it brings up Sam Beck, the first baseman.
So it will be an RBI walk.
So the score's now 12-0 for Sam Beck as he comes on with 2 outs. That's a hard hit ball. Goes up and caught by the first baseman, Keelan Selby, to end the inning. So despite having bases loaded in multiple scenarios, Noah Fagan only lets up 1 run. So going into the bottom of the 5th, Norwalk needs to score 3 to avoid the mercy rule. Back here in the bottom of the 5th. Sorry about that. It's Kingston Lamb pinch hitting for Cale Wadley in the 9th spot as he just puts a bat on ball. Third baseman sprinting and can't get under the ball. I thought he was going to get that one. The third baseman for Des Moines, Roosevelt, Joey Aarons, put on the burners and was practically at the foul gate. And then the ball drops. And it looks like he just doesn't affect him. As we've seen other Norwalk players have had to do similar runs and their hands on the knees. To Aaron, that's just a jog in the park. Sunday afternoon with George. As it's now a 1-1 count now for Kingston Lamb. Lamb will chop that one into foul territory to make it a 1-2 count. So Wadley, who just got relieved, walked and made it all the way to 3rd before getting stranded. Now Kingston Lamb, who is not hit yet today, if I'm not mistaken. As that one, it's a hard swung, but misses. So that's the 3rd strikeout. And it brings Norwalk to 2. Outs remaining in tonight's contest if they don't score 3 more runs. And it brings us to the top of the order. It's Colton Moore. And that is not Colton Moore. It's number 30, Gavin Breyer, the senior, who is up to bat. So Breyer, swing and a miss. Strike one, makes it a 1-1 count. Took the first one inside and had to jump out of the way. Now this one, swung on and missed. That one finds the outside edge to the lefty. As Breyer come up, I was like, that is not Colton Moore because this is a lefty and Moore is very much not a lefty. And that one stays outside. Ethan Hall trying to get Breyer to swing once again. Just gets a little bit too far out. And will swing and a miss, strike 3. It puts Norwalk down to 1 out remaining. And it will bring up Josh Snyder, number 15. I was going to say Ashton Hans, but it looks like the coaching staff for Norwalk will elect to just bring on a couple of subs. And another player will lose their bat. And that one is more common as Josh Snyder does not hit with batting gloves as he just completely sends that one down the third base line. So it's an 0-1 count now. And on deck waiting as that one just gets thrown well away. For number 24, Ethan Hall just soared that one over the head. And I think this is where you can finally see the exhaustion just get into these players. Even though Josh Snyder hasn't played yet, just completely loses the bat. Puts bat on ball, second, first, and that one will end our game. And also, we would like to extend a congratulations to Ethan Hall through 5 innings, through a no-hitter.
Yeah.
Even though it was cut short, does get the no-hitter for him. And it will end game number 2 early, 12-0. I'll send it to you, Liam, for our perspective photography player of the game.
Yeah, it's a rough game 2 for the Norwalk Warriors. I think the best player on the field today was more than likely it's just going to be Colton Moore. Made a couple of really nice plays, part of a double play, as well as a couple of hard-thrown groundouts, a couple of really nice cutoffs in the outfield that stopped runs from scoring in bunches, even outside of that 4th inning. And at the plate, he walked twice. He officially had a 0-for-0 day with 2 walks. So he is our Savvy's Perspective Photography player of the game in a game where the Norwalk Warriors are no hit in a 12-0 loss to the Des Moines Roosevelt Rough Riders.
So in game 1, it was all Norwalk who won 6-0. In game 2, a much different story as Des Moines Roosevelt gets on top quickly in the first inning, scoring 3, follows it up with 2 more in the second inning, and then in inning number 4, that was the dagger. 6 runs scored by almost everybody on the lineup, and then followed up by another run in the 5th to make it the 12-0 score that it is right now. So Des Moines Roosevelt Rough Riders and the Norwalk Warriors split game 1 and game 2. But that is all we have today, folks. Thank you all for tuning in to this production of Norwalk Baseball here on Part of My French Media. I'm Ian Nelson alongside Liam Weber. Make sure to tune into the softball game that is currently going on between Winterset and Norwalk. But that's all we have tonight here, folks, for baseball. It's Part of Our French Media, the sole provider of Norwalk Athletics.